Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for coming to our seminar. The Honorable Lecturer of Seminar on English Language Teaching, Professor Dr. Shafizal MPD, and the Honorable all participants of this seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Novelis Nikoma, the mother of today's seminar. I'm very pleased to see you here and welcome all of you to this seminar. Today's seminar is about the influence of the effectiveness of using instructional media on the students' interest in English language teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, our speaker is Rasuna Saidin Atma. She is one of the Untitas English student, education student. Before the presentation begins, let me be informed how the presentation will be going on. First, Rasuna will be invited to present the material. After that, there will be question and answer session and followed by conclusion. Now, allow me to welcome the speaker, Rasuna, to deliver his presentation. To Rasuna Saidin Atma, the time is yours.
All right, thank you, moderator. Now, let me introduce myself. My name is Rasuna Saidin, and I'm from English Education Department 21. Now I will present about my research paper. The title is The Influence of the Effectiveness of Using Instructional Media on the Students' Interest in English Language Teaching. The first is introduction. Background of the study. Since English is an international language, it is taught all over the world. Probably English instruction is mandated in Indonesia from high school through tertiary education. Teachers need to be equipped with the right techniques to teach students' interest in what they are learning. Students' acquisition of English is positively impacted by instructional media. Teachers typically use them to distribute resources to students in effect. And there are some factors in use them to distribute resources to students in an effort to get them excited about learning English. There are some factors why learners are not interested in studying English. Firstly, the English teaching learning process is still conventional. The teachers still apply the same method out of the curriculum purchase and techniques have been changed. Secondly, some of the teachers don't offer to activate the students on teaching learning process. Fourthly, there is an assumption that English is the second language in our country. The students just get English in school environment. There is no support from them to achieve English competence out of the area. Fifthly, there is a limitation of instructional media in English teaching learning process. Unfortunately, most of the teachers are unable to create or don't have much time to make instructional media. Next is statement of the problem. Is how do instructional media contribute to the effectiveness of language teaching? Next is literature review. First is definition of the instructional media. According to Adekbia and Fako Mukban 2012, the instructional media are the human and non-human devices, material, or methodologies used by the teachers to overcome all learning problems. It means that the instructional media is the key to transfer the knowledge from the teachers to the students effectively. And next is the type of instructional media used in language teaching. The first is realia. Realia is object and as an object and teaching forms from the world outside the classroom that are used for teaching and learning. So it can be inferred that realia is unmodified thing inside or outside the classroom which is used by the teacher for teaching learning process. Next is pictures. Pictures is non-photographic and two-dimensional methods which is utilized by the teachers to convey messages to the students. This kind of material include drawings, charts, graphs, poster, cartoon, and others. Next is course book. Course book is a form of print media. It contains material or verbal information through print. It can also be used as basic instructional guide by the teachers. Next is overhead projector. The students can see in front of the class the material which is written or drawn in a transparent. Transparent will be projected by using projectors. Next is flip charts. It's an instructional media which contain big sheet paper, it is mostly used to write down some important points in group discussion. Several benefits of flip chart are portable, accessible, and easy to use. The last is boards. Is refers to chalkboard, blackboard, whiteboard, and interactive whiteboard. Like pictures board also are used to several purposes, like notepad, explanation aid, public workbook, and others. Next is the benefit of instructional media according to Sanaki 2009. First is by using learning media, the learning process will be more interesting, which can motivate student learning. Second is can clarify learning materials so that students can easily understand the material and enable students to master the learning objective. Last is by using instructional media, so students will be better able to master the learning objective. Next is about research method. First is methodology, research space. I took a research space in campaign 1 Kota Tangerang Selatan. Research time March 2024. Participants, the students at SMPN 1 Kota Tangerang Selatan, class 8. And the instrument is the research questionnaire, which was created based on the theories of perceptual components and the benefit of instructional media, was the tool employed in the study. The purpose of the questionnaire was to ascertain how the students felt about the instructional film that the teachers had used to teach English. Next is about result and discussion. Result is of this study have shown consistently high level of children's perception towards the use of instructional media, especially when using video in teaching English. The perception is divided into cognitive, affective, and cognitive domain. The overall score of children's perception on video used by the teacher as instructional media in teaching English in cognitive component. The findings above show that most of the participants have positive perception on the use of it. The overall score of children's perception on video used by the teacher as instructional media in teaching English is a affective component. There are 4 statements consisting of positive and negative statements used in the questionnaire. The data above show that most of the participants have positive perception on the use of it. And then next is discussion. The present studies, along with previous studies, suggest that using instructional media such as video, animation, and mobile learning can enhance students' motivation in learning English. The studies have shown that using specific instructional media can improve students' writing, speaking, and overall learning motivation. The use of instructional media can make learning more comfortable, faster, and enjoyable for students. However, the specific media used and the skills targeted can vary, with some charts focusing on specific skills like writing or speaking, while others focus on general learning. Overall, the evidence supports the idea that instructional media can play a significant role in improving children's learning experience. And the conclusion of this seminar is the study's primary goal is to examine how children see the instructional video that English teachers use to teach the language. Based on the research findings and the previous analysis, it is discovered that students' perception of the teacher's use of a video as instructional media to teach English are strongly positive. That's all from me. Back to the moderator.
Thank you very much, Dasuna, for giving us such informative and interesting presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, now come to the question and answer session. I'd like to have 1, 2, 3 questions from the participant, please.
I want to ask moderator, may I?
Okay, please.
Okay, so the question is, what is the impact of using instructional media on student interest in English language teaching? Thank you.
Okay, so the question is, what is the impact of English reading habits or reading proficiency? The question is, what is the impact of using instructional media on students' interest in English language teaching? Um, for Asuna, are you ready to answer the question?
Yes, I will answer the question. So my answer is the effectiveness of using instructional media has a significant influence on children's interest in English language teaching. Students have shown that the use of instructional media, such as video, animation, and instruction software, can increase students' engagement and motivation in learning English, leading to a higher level of interest in the subject. Additionally, the use of instructional media can also improve students' understanding and retention of English language concepts, which can further enhance their interest in the subject. Is it okay, Ingat?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you, Rasuna, for the answer.
All right, thank you. Back to the moderator.
And interesting presentation. All the participants for very active participant finally give an and for you all. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Honorable Professor Dr. Syafridal MPD and the Honorable participant of this meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Sikoma, the moderator of today's seminar is about unlocking comprehension skills, the impact of English reading habits on reading proficiency development. Ladies and gentlemen, our speaker today is Notiana Putri. She is one of the underclass English education students. Before the presentation begins, let me inform how the presentation will be going on first. Nurtriana will be invited to present the material. After that, there will be question and answer session and followed by conclusion. Now, allow me to welcome the speaker. Nurtriana, the time is yours.
Thank you, moderator. So, without any further ado, the Honorable Mr. Shafrija, as the lecturer on seminar English teaching. My name is Nurtriana Putri, and here I would like to present about my seminar. The title is Unlocking Comprehension Skills, the Impact of English Reading Habits on Reading Proficiency Development. Next slide. Next slide, please. This is the background of the study. Indonesia is one of the countries that has a very low level of interest. The previous, yes, okay. Indonesia is one of the countries that has a very low level of interest in reading. Based on the data obtained from various sources, Indonesia is in a low position in the ranking of countries that have a higher interest in reading. The data is from UNESCO that mentioned Indonesia as the second from the bottom country in terms of word literacy, with data on the reading interest of Indonesian people only 0.001%, and from the world most literate nation rank research conducted by Central Connecticut State University in March 2016 stated that Indonesia was ranked 16 of 61 countries in terms of reading interest. And also in 2000 and sorry for the trouble. I will continue. In 2019, the Program of International Student Assessment or PISA research stated that Indonesian reading interest ranked in 62 out of 70 countries. Then this research was conducted to find out how to increase student interest in reading in English learning so that it can help students build reading habits. It was done because the researcher thought that there was a link between reading habits and improving reading comprehension skill. Next slide. This is the statement of problem. One, how can English reading habits develop reading comprehension skills? Two, what factors can encourage to increase interest in reading and English language learning? And the third, what is an effective teaching approach or strategy to improve reading comprehension in English lesson? Next slide. So here, the literature review reading. Reading is a process of constructing meaning that can be achieved through dynamic instruction among the following aspects like reader's prior knowledge acquired by the text and the context of the reading situation, according to Klingner et al. 2007. And reading habit. Reading habit is behavior that is repeated gradually in a long time, which refers to the attitude representing preference in reading activity, which is shown from the amount of the reading materials read by an individual, the frequency of reading, and the average time spent on reading, so it becomes a settled reading tendency. According to Wardoyo 2013. And then there are reading comprehension, according to Wally 2011, page 15. Reading comprehension is the process of making meaning from text. Next slide. So it's the literature review about factors that can lead to increased interest in reading, according to Hanu 2016 and Ko et al. 2010. So the first is contact with foreign language, allowing um, student to read books in their target native language can help reduce difficulties in reading. and understanding English. This means that students sorry, I will continue. Um, the first, contact with foreign language, allowing students to read books in their target native language, can help reduce difficulties in reading and understanding English. This means that students are accustomed to reading English books. And the second, understanding learning objectives. So, understanding the learning objectives involved in reading can help students understand why to read and understand the purpose of reading. So, it's like as a motivate the student to know many benefits that they can get from reading. The third is positive and enjoyable experiences. Making the reading experience positive and enjoyable can help build interest in reading. It can be obtained from influences and teaching in the environment. So, as facilitator, we must be able to have methods to make students interest in reading. And the next, various genre of reading material. A wide variety of reading materials in English can help develop student reading comprehension skills. Reading material can range from easy text to complex text, fiction text to non-fiction text, and text that contain different information. A wide variety of reading materials can help students understand English better and build better reading comprehension skills. And the last, the factors that can lead to increased interest in reading is teacher or instructor role. Here, the role of the teacher is very important as a facilitator at school to help students to be interested in reading and encourage students to have good reading habits. Next slide. This teaching strategy to improve reading comprehension. A strategy is a special form of procedural knowledge that is intentionally, purposefully, and effortfully applied to a given task or situation for which one's typical or automatic pattern of thought or behavior is perceived as inadequate or non-optimal. Harris, Alexander, and S. Graham, 2008, page 89. So there are six teaching strategy to improve reading comprehension. The first is collaborative strategy reading or CSR approach. This approach teaches students how to become strategic readers. It provides students with cognitive instruction to understand text in content area. It also assists students with learning disabilities and provide them with opportunities to work in collaborative environments. And the second, peer-assisted learning strategy. This approach was designed to enhance reading fluency and reading comprehension of low achieving students with and without disabilities. It is based on a peer tutoring model to teach students to summarize, retell, monitor, elaborate, and predict. Next is about cognitive academic language learning approach. So this approach developed by O'Malley 1987 is based on the repetition of five-step cycle. The cycle consists instruction, practice, evaluation, and application of the chosen strategies. And the next is concept-oriented reading instruction. In this was designed to engage intrinsically motivated students to proficient in the use of strategies to build knowledge through a variety of texts. It combines strategy instruction with motivational features and the opportunity for collaboration. The strategies thought include activation of background knowledge, question elaboration, searching for information in multiple texts, summarizing and organizing information graphically. And next, the strategy is communicative language teaching. So communicative language teaching has gained worldwide popularity as it focuses on communicating Sorry, I will continue. Communicative language teaching, based on the result of the previous research, CLT is an effective way to improve student reading skill. A student performance improved very much during the learning process in the reading class and were able to improve their own weakness. The CLT method has changed the reading class atmosphere to be better than before. Students feel very happy, comfortable, and enthusiastic during the teaching learning process of reading. And the last is story mapping. Story mapping is another evidence-based reading strategy that has been widely used to enhance student reading comprehensions. It is a cognitive intervention that requires students to fill a pre-structured template with story grammar components as headings to visualize, organize, understand textual information from a story. Next slide. And the methodology. Research is done. I use qualitative descriptive method, and the instrument is questionnaire, and the population and sample is random student in junior high school with 10 students as a sample. Next slide. So here, finding and discussion. I the questionnaire that I has given to 10 students, and then this is the result. Uh, they agree that motivation is one of the can be have a good impact to build interest and reading habit, and also parents or teacher role and varied reading text and good experience, and the reading habits improve reading comprehension. Also, they agree about this. Next slide. The conclusion of my seminar, it can conclude that 10 students agree that parents or teachers through a significant role in encouraging students to read and develop good reading habits. Additionally, positive experience and varied reading texts can also contribute to improve reading comprehension. The study also highlights the importance of doing habits and enhance reading comprehension skill. Maybe that's all for my presentation. I return to the moderator. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Nutriana Putri, for giving us such informative and interesting presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, now come to the question and answer session. I'd like to have 1, 2, 3 from the participant. 1, 2, 3 question from the participant, please.
And so I want to ask, my question is, what is the impact of English reading habits on reading proficiency development? And how can English reading habits develop reading comprehension skills? Thank you.
Well, I have already had one question here. The first one is the only one is coming from Rasuna. Ask about what is the impact of English reading habits on reading proficiency development, and how can English reading habits develop reading comprehension skills? Are you ready to answer them, Nutriana?
Yes, I'm ready to answer the question.
Okay, please.
So the answer, okay, thank you. What is the impact of English reading habits on reading proficiency development? So I will continue to answer. And how can English reading habits develop reading comprehension skill? So the answer is English reading habits can have a positive impact on reading proficiency development, as it can improve reading comprehension skills and increase interest in reading in English language learning. And how English reading habits can develop reading comprehension skill is through dynamic instruction among the following aspects, such as reader prior knowledge, the information provided by the text, and the context of the reading situation. English reading situation. English reading habits can have. I think that's my answer about the question. It is clear, Rasuna.
Yes, it is clear. Thank you.
Thank you. I return to
All
the
right, thank you.
moderator.
Thank you to Nurjana and Rasuna. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally come to the end of this seminar. Before I close this seminar, I would like to take the conclusion from what the speaker has presented. We can conclude that parents are teacher role a significant role in encouraging students to read and develop good reading habits. Additionally, positive experience and varied reading tastes can also contribute to improve reading comprehension. I'd like to thank the speaker for the informative and interesting presentation and all the participants for their very active participation. Finally, give the applause for the speaker and for you all. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.